Today, we're going to be checking out the new Hesher version 3 from This Heavy Earth. So I wanted to try a little bit of a new format and have the intro and then just straight into the music, then talk about the pedal a little bit, and then go into an out of mix. I think that'll be cool. That way we get to hear it a bit first, then we get some detail, and then we get to kind of see all the little features of it and turn some knobs. I think that'll work out all right. But This Heavy Earth sent this over. Haven't had them on the channel in a while. So what is the Hesher? The Hesher is a longtime passion project where they've been trying to get that sound of like old school 80s thrash metal, like Bay Area thrash, you know, old school thrash metal. And of course, what is old school thrash metal? Boosted or modded or, you know, modified boosted JCM800s, like all those bands back in the day were using JCM800s, and some of them still do. I just saw Kerry King live open for Mastodon and Lamb of God, and his new band is still using his modded JCM800, which essentially is a regular one, but with a built-in boost and noise gate. And he sounded killer live, and he sounds just like he always did on all of his records. So essentially, Shay, what they did is they told me they looked at the topology of a bunch of JCM800s, and then also ended up looking at some JCM900s to get more of that saturation and more of the sound they were going after. And they ended up with this. So this is a preamp pedal. It's meant to go into a power section, into, you know, a speaker, or, you know, maybe you have like a cab, like an IR cab loader or something like that. And it has, you know, like a built-in like power amp simulator or something like that. It's meant to go direct in is what I'm getting at. It's not really meant to go in the clean channel of an amp, although I'm sure you probably couldn't get great results. Pretty dead simple controls, you know, bass, middle, treble. You have a presence control, which is super needed on preamp pedals, a level control, and a gain control. Now, this thing definitely nailed the 80s sound. I went super Slayer with it. As you can hear, it turns out super easy to rip off Slayer. I can see why so many bands have been doing it for so long. Absolutely nailed that sound and feel. Like, it's got that very dry thing, very cutting, very, like, it just pokes out in a mix just perfectly. And because it's dry, it doesn't tend to oversaturate, so the mix just sounds really, really good with it. So that's all the features and the sounds, right? Like, and you heard it in the in mix. Definitely nailed that Slayer thing. Let's hear it out of a mix as well. I'm going to have it with the exact same setup I did for the in mix. So I'm going to be plugging into this directly with my Fuji Gen Neo Classic, which I have loaded with the Bill Kelleher Hellbender pickup set. And then that's going to be going into the power section of my Friedman BE50 Deluxe. And I wanted to do that because, you know, it's a Marshall-y power section. I mean, this is meant to be like a Marshall-y kind of amp. So I wanted to go into a power section of something that was kind of Marshall-y, and that's what I had on hand. But the results were fantastic. And then that's going to be going into my Two Notes Captor X with a DV77 and VM1265 IR blend. And that's exactly what we're going to hear in the out of mix, like I said. So let's check that out now. So like I said, it definitely does that dry Marshall-y JCM800 thing. It's definitely more like a modded Marshall because you don't need a boost and it's still plenty tight and saturated. Definitely saturates more than any JCM800 you'd ever find. Probably more than any JCM900 you ever find either, although those do have more gain than a JCM800, which is probably why he was looking at that too. I think this thing absolutely nails what it's going for. They've tried a few iterations, and I think that they can stop now. I think this one's fantastic. But I'd like to know your thoughts on, you know, how you thought the tone sounded, if you dug the in-mix music with my little Slayer ripoff. I'm going to have a link down below if you want to check this out or anything else from this Heavy Earth. But thanks for watching. Stay metal.